Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us here on this, what day is it? Thursday night. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen. Mario Tirabassi is at the United Center. We are here in the Victory Lounge as the Hawks beat the LA Kings 2-1 in overtime. I would say on the back of Jonathan Toews' overtime winner, but the reality is on the back of Arvid Soderblom. He was absolutely outstanding, stopping 32 of 33 LA Kings shots. And Greg, this was a game the Hawks really had no business winning. It was one of their worst performances overall of the year. One of the first times we can actually look at some of the individual performances and say bad. But there was one guy who was great. It was Arvid Soderblom, and because of him, the Blackhawks get the extra point. They win it in overtime 2-1.
I think we have to start calling the young man Arvid Soderblom.
I like it.
After this performance. He's good. The difference that we're seeing Soderblom, and by the way, he even said Soderblom. I know some broadcasters say Soderblom, but they had him on the screen during one of the intermissions during the hockey fight cancers, and he said, "This is Arvid Soderblom," straight from the horse's mouth. So Soderblom is what we're going with. Soderblom, doesn't matter. He was fantastic tonight. The difference that we've seen from that little bit that we saw him last year to now, completely different goaltender. But in that little bit of emergency duty he got last year, that wasn't the same goalie that played in Rockford all of last year. I mean, I got to see a lot of his starts in Rockford up close and personal, in person. He's just that calm goalie. And, you know, this game reminded me a lot of the Buffalo game from last weekend, where they had no business being in the game. And all of a sudden, boom, they have a goal literally out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. Caleb Jones doing what he does, gets the puck on net, and, you know, it hits off of Jason Dickinson, and it goes in the net. Caleb Jones, 6 assists in the 6 games since he was a healthy scratch.
Yep.
You know, he's doing what they were expecting Seth Jones to do in the lineup, and now Seth is out of the lineup, so Caleb says, fine, I'm just going to shoot the puck. Yeah,
I still very much miss Seth Jones.
Oh, absolutely.
You're really seeing his absence on the power play, and even if, you know, he's not picking up power play goals, his ability to enter the zone, his ability to control the puck at the blue line is very, very missed in this game. And since he's been gone. But let's focus on the guys that are here. Caleb Jones, we were tough on him to start, and deservedly so. He did not play well to start the season, and he got scratched, came back in, and has been kind of a different guy. And he plays with a lot of confidence, and I think, you know, I don't know if he's got much more of a ceiling than what he already is. I can't really envision him taking another step in his development and becoming much better than he is right now, because when I look at him, I just don't know what it is that he's great at. Doesn't have great speed, isn't a great scorer, isn't a great passer. He's pretty good at all those things. But if this is Caleb Jones, I can live with that as your 6th defenseman, your 7th defenseman, when maybe it's time to win again.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing a average NHL defenseman having a great run these last few games. I don't think this is a coming out party per se. I don't think this is Caleb Jones becoming, you know, a Norris Trophy candidate defenseman, a point per game defense. No, but I think it's a kid that's gaining some confidence because the coaching staff is showing confidence in him.
Yes, they are.
Which is what you can see happening up and down this lineup. Philip Kurashev, even though he didn't have
tough game for him today.
It's probably his worst game of the season, but overall, he's a completely different player than he was last year. Part of that is the coaching staff believes in him. That makes him a better player. Caleb Jones is getting the trust from the coaching staff, and he's making the best of it. There's other players you can say like that. You know, since coming back in the lineup, Reese Johnson's been pretty good at doing what Reese Johnson does. He had that goal in the first game, should have had a goal the second game, same exact play, but he does what he's supposed to do. And I think that's they sat him down for a few games, and then they put him back in and said, "Okay, this is what we want from you. We believe you can do it." Yep. And he's going out and doing it. Trust from a coaching staff and a young player is just so important. It's so underrated too, because if you're a young kid like Khrushchev last year, thinking in his head, well, if I screw up here,
Bingo.
It's back to the press box for me,
yep.
or it's back to the fourth line, or it's back to Rockford. I may not play again for 3 weeks if I screw this up. And what happens? The puck will automatically go to him, and he will whiff on it and will be in the back of the other net. But when you know that you have a leash that hey, I can screw up, but I'm going to get right back out there on the next shift, and the coach is going to want me to make up for it, they usually do.
Remember last year we talked a lot about you could see Kirby Dach thinking on the ice. And that is the worst thing for a hockey player. It is the worst thing for any athlete to be not using their instincts.
Like Kevin Costner said in Bull Durham, stop thinking, it will only hurt the ball club.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly right. And your point is spot on, because when guys are not afraid to make mistakes, or maybe that's the wrong way to put it, but if they know that every mistake is not going to get them out of the lineup or get them punished, they play more loose. Every player makes mistakes. Patrick Kane had a ton of mistakes in this game. Jonathan Toews made mistakes. Max Domi made mistakes. Everybody does it. You can't just live in that world of, if I screw up, I'm in the press box. That is a horrible way for a player to play. And look, if things start to pile up, we're going to get to it, I'm sure, but I think Philip Roos can probably use a game or two to take a deep breath, watch things from the press box. Things are starting to get away from him in the last 2 games a little bit, but it's fine. I don't think you're going to see Luke Richardson, pounding the table saying Philip Roos needs to be better, yada, yada, yada. No, it's a young guy making his, 6th NHL start, whatever it is. These guys, it takes time, and mistakes are going to happen, and that's the beauty of a rebuild, is you can tolerate them a little bit. But, I like that guys seem to be in the mindset of, I'm going to come out here and play my game. If something goes wrong, fine, and I'll try not to let it happen again. And that's how you come up with a loose team that's playing their best hockey. We have a ton of comments to get to, and we're going to. I know a lot of people are concerned about this win, saying the tank isn't working out.
Long way to go.
Look, and if they play this game 10 times, they lose it 9 times.
Yes, same thing could be said, of the Buffalo game, which they ended up losing. The Islanders game, they're going to lose a lot more of these games than they win. And these are the type of games the Hawks are going to be in all season long. Outside of the opening night at Colorado, every game's been a 1-goal game, with the exception of the Islanders game, but that was an empty netter in the final minute. That was essentially a 1-goal game. They are in every game. They haven't come out, even when they play poorly, like they did tonight, like they did against the Islanders, like they did against Buffalo. They somehow managed to literally pull goals out of their collective ass.
Yeah, really.
We were sitting there tonight boy, are they going to get a shot on goal before the end of the first period? And then, they're just getting, I don't want to say dominated, but they definitely were just not really in this game. And then boom, there's the goal. You're up 1-0.
Yeah.
It reminded me so much of that Buffalo game where they were just getting completely outplayed, and then you blink your eye and they're up 2-1.
Yeah. Yep. Our buddy No Roids Just Rage in the chat, he has been most of the evening, just says, him and Paul are going back and forth, and says, just keep enjoying the Hawks out of the playoffs for another decade. They should have rebuilt in 2016. You rebuild through the draft. And yeah, it's true that this is probably going a little better than people had thought. But if you look at the underlying numbers, they're bad. They're bad by every metric you can find. And yesterday we had a really good discussion, if you missed it, about the futures of Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews. We did an hour plus on basically that topic. If you missed it, go back and listen. We got into all of it about their futures and all the possibilities. But No Roy's point is you build through the draft. Next year, the Hawks have 2 first-round picks, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, a 4th, a 5th, and a 7th. 2024, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, 2 fifths, a 6th, and a 7th. So, and there's going to be more to come, right? Even if Kane and Toews, by some miracle, decide to stay, they're still going to trade Domi. They're still going to trade Athanasiou. They're still going to find other pieces to move. Like, even a guy like Jason Dickinson at the deadline can bring some value.
Yeah, you can definitely flip.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys on this roster who they can flip for pieces. And yes, you're
Juju Kara is another guy that a team might look for fourth line. Yeah, that's why people who are like, oh my God, the tank is not working. There's still 71 games to go.
Yeah.
There are still going to be, this roster after March 3rd is going to be pitiful. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry, but just enjoy that we've got a competent hockey team.
Well, and not just that, like, if you watched the game, you saw the Blackhawks are not good. Like,
right.
The first goal was a fluky redirection where Jason Dickinson is like skating around the slot and has a stick out, and Caleb Jones hits it and it goes in. Sweet, we got a goal. Great, wonderful. And the overtime winner it's fumbled by Fiala.
Yeah.
McCabe picks it up and gets it to Toews. Like, it was an unforced error by the Kings.
You had said that your autocorrect automatically turns
Fiala to fail,
and he certainly failed on that last play of the game.
Yes.
That was what do they call that in the hockey world? That was a pizza he served up right in front of the net.
Did.
And
yes, he did.
So yeah, they didn't deserve to win. They didn't deserve even a point in this game, but they got one because Arvid Soderblom played terrific.
He was awesome.
He had a couple of those saves in the third period. Just tremendous.
Yeah.
He's just, I'm super happy for him. Having followed him in Rockford last year, and just, I know the way he performed the little bit of time he was up here last year, I know that really disappointed him because he knew he was better than that.
That's his first win.
He should have 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But good for him. Just tremendous effort. And I think, they didn't want him here this quick, but he's making it very hard for them to send him back at this point.
Yeah, it's tough.
Luke Richardson even said that
to me, he's their best goalie. I don't think there's any question about it.
He is.
If you seriously had a game to win, who's your goalie?
Out of those 3?
Yeah.
It's Arvid Soderblom.
Of course.
I'm not even batting an eye.
No, there's no question about it.
But Peter Mrazek, he's going to be back here soon. On this road trip, I would expect him to play. He was actually taking shots in the net in morning skate today. It was the first time he's done that. He'd skated the last couple of days, but when it came, he didn't really have any net action, but he was taking a lot of shots in morning skate today. So I would assume Arvid will start Saturday in Winnipeg, and then Mrazek will probably jump in either in LA or Anaheim, those 2 West Coast trips. I'm going to assume he's going to take that trip. Mrazek can come off of IR at any time now. He's eligible to come off. And Stalock, with Soderblom playing well, they can kind of be like, okay, take your time getting healthy. But those are 2 goalies. I think when they're both here, Soderblom will go back to Rockford because, again, Kyle Davison wants to stick to his plan, and he wants Rockford to have a successful season and a deep playoff run.
Yep.
You're not going to do that with Mitchell Weeks and Jackson Staubert. No offense to those guys, but Arvid Soderblom is the guy down there. So, and you probably want Mrazek and Stalock to play because talk about guys you could flip at the deadline. Those are 2 guys that if they're playing well, teams always want a goalie.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, at least one of those guys.
You could trade Mrazek back to Toronto for another first-round pick.
Sure. And Austin Matthews. What?
He don't want to fight nobody. He's a bum.
One thing we should acknowledge, by the way, is because this has been a trend in the last few games. Mackenzie Entwistle is boarded in the first period by Brendan Lemieux, and Jujhar Khaira and him, they dropped the gloves right away. Jason pointing that out in the chat here. Those things we've discussed a lot, like how impactful is it when you've got a veteran standing up for a kid?
Right.
That's the first time we've really seen that. Usually it would be the other way around, where Khaira gets hurt and somebody like Entwistle drops the gloves. Khaira saw a teammate get hit, didn't matter how old he was, how experienced he was, and immediately went after Lemieux. Not much of a fight there. He actually got the extra minor on that one for unsportsmanlike, and the Hawks killed off that power play. By the way, the Hawks did not allow a shot on goal shorthanded today. So
That's how you win hockey games.
Yeah, penalty kills.
Well, there was not only that play by Kara, but McCabe went after, I believe it was Mikey Anderson in the second period. There was he drove hard to the net and took a little extra whack at Arvid Soderblom after the whistle, and he just jumped right on him. And I don't know, maybe they did. Maybe Luke got in the ear of this team saying, "Hey, your goalie's laying there." Maybe he gave him a little crap for not sticking up for Alex Stalock, because they were certainly up for it tonight. That play with Kara, with Kara, that's part of his MO. That's part of what he does, and it's not surprising that they're going to do this, because this team, they are a tight knit group.
Yeah,
it's only 11 games into a season, but they've got that us against the world mentality. They got that chip on their shoulder. Nobody expects us to do anything this year, so we're going to go out and prove them wrong. We heard that a lot. We heard that from Mackenzie Entwistle right before the season opener in Denver, and we're all kind of like, yeah, okay, you kind of have to say that. They mean it. It's not just them saying it to say it. So I'm not surprised you're seeing more guys stepping up for each other, and I wouldn't be surprised if they clawed an earful of letting that Alex Stalock play go unpunished.
Well, look,
I bet when the Hawks are in Long Island playing the Islanders, Casey Cizikas is going to have a receipt he's going to have to answer for.
No doubt. And you look at the guys who Kyle Davidson has brought into this team from the moment he brought in Sam Lafferty. Character has been a huge focus, and the guys that he did keep from the Sam Bowman era.
It's $1. Damn it. It's been a while, though.
It has been a while.
The jar is getting a little lonely there, so that's $1.
All right, so I actually have cash on me today, so I'll do it when you tell people about the Shady Rays in a minute here. I lost my train of thought. I'm so mad at myself. No, that even the guys that stayed from the past regime, they've all got that mentality. Murphy, McCabe, Kara, those guys who were here with the last regime are reflective of the kind of guys Davidson likes.
Yeah, Lafferty was the first trade Davidson. Who was the first new contract Davidson gave to last year?
I don't know.
It was Reese Johnson.
Oh.
He gave Reese Johnson that 2-year deal. So, and everybody was kind of like, Reese Johnson, what are we doing? But you need guys like that on your team.
Mm-hmm. Lebowski 5, one of our buddies, talking about the rebuild and the pieces, says, regardless of taking a year off the rebuild, you need a young prospect or two. That's the centerpiece of a new foundation. The Blackhawks have some fantastic foundational prospects. No centerpiece
yet.
I might disagree with that.
I might say Kevin Korchinski's a centerpiece.
Yes, I think Kevin Korchinski is a centerpiece type of player.
I think so.
It is very early.
Yes.
But that dude looked NHL ready from day one in a Hawks uniform, has been kicking ass in Seattle with the Thunderbirds, more than a point per game, I think, at this point.
Yeah, at one point
read the rebuild report for all that info.
He had 12 points in his first 7 games, all assists.
Yeah.
So
if you can if you have a 10-year number one defenseman on your hands already, that's a centerpiece. Now, of course, you need the forward, right? You need the next Patrick Kane, the next Jonathan Toews. Granted, that's difficult to do if you're not picking in the top 3, 4, 5, especially since the number 3 pick you had a few years ago is now gone.
Yeah.
Right? That hurts a little bit. But remember, stockpiling picks, you can trade up. After this year, you've got a crap ton of cap space. $21 million is walking out the door with Toews and Kane on their own. That's it. Just those two.
You're going to have to spend about almost $60 million to hit the cap floor next year.
Yes.
So
free agents can be signed too.
They're they've got Bears type cap space next year. They can go out and get whoever they want, whoever they choose to do. They could also take on bad contracts to get first-round draft picks.
Yes.
Expect them to do more of that this year.
But if they if they don't win the draft lottery, whoever gets number 1 is taking Bedard.
Yeah.
Right? That's a given. He is absolutely tearing it up. He had a 5-point game the other night. But if the Hawks have 3 first-round picks this year or something like that, and they say, hey, we really want Adam Fantilli, we think that he is the next huge part of this team, and they make a phone call, They can get that done. They'll find you can find a way to get that number 2 or number 3 pick.
2 or 3 first-round picks for the number 2 overall.
Yeah, of course.
Like, it's the success of this season and this rebuild is not 100% resting on if we get Connor Bedard or not.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that needs to be
If they don't
clarified.
get Connor Bedard,
yes.
It's not a failure. Don't start.
I mean, it would be great if they did.
Yes, it would be. It'd be super disappointing.
Yeah,
but it's not. If they don't get the number 1 pick, I don't want to see the hashtags fire Davidson.
Well, look, even if they went 0-82, they still have a less than 20% chance of getting him.
Strange things can happen.
Yes.
Like if they don't get number 1, it doesn't mean this was a failure or the rebuild is off to a terrible start. I was really impressed with the way this regime drafted this past draft.
Yeah.
It's not one guy in the room saying, I know more than all of you. I'm drafting this guy from the U.S. development program 3 rounds too early.
Right.
It's a general manager listening to his scouting department.
Yep.
It's a staff making a group decision on who the best player is. I know it's only 1 draft, but I've got more confidence in this regime drafting better than I ever had at any point of the last regime.
I agree. I have a lot of.
Now the development is another step, but they seem to understand that more than the last regime. They are emphasizing it.
He who shall not be named's development was, you're drafted. Now you're in the NHL. Congratulations.
Oh, you suck after 6 games? Columbus, you want this guy?
Yeah, and we've hired a clown bag to develop you. So enjoy that.
So the development is the next step, but I have confidence, I have faith that they're going to nail that as well.
The fact that Lucas Reichel is not on this team tells you all you need to know about their commitment to development.
There you go.
And you could say that's about the tank, whatever. On that note, by the way, we'll get into this when we have one of our longer non-post-game shows soon. Piece today from Scott Powers in The Athletic. The Ice Hawks played an early morning game. Was it yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah. And Reichel had a bad game, and the whole Hawks brass was there to see it. Now I can't think of the Ice Hawks coach because I always get Sorensen. I always get him and Soderblom mixed up. Sorensen called him out. Reichel called himself out. Like, he's just not ready yet. So
funny how that works though. Like the pressure is like, hey, let's get this kid up here. Like, nope, he's bad. He had 1 bad game.
Did you see that one game?
Did you see that weird 10:30 in the morning Wednesday morning game? He was terrible. He's got to stay down here till Christmas now.
Yeah. All right, let's do the game recap. We'll tell you about Shady Rays and Athletic Greens, and Mario should be with us soon, I would think, unless Luke got locked in the stall or something. First period, the Hawks go 5 minutes into the game without getting a shot on goal. Actually, their first shot came 9:45 into the first period, but it was a good one. 1-on-1, Andreas Athanasiou up against Anze Kopitar. He walks Kopitar, goes right through him, nutmegs him, has a nice scoring chance on Jonathan Quick, but he makes a save. That's the Hawks' first shot of the game, 9:45 into the first period. Then we had the Brendan Lemieux hit on Entwistle, where him and Kara dropped the gloves. The Kings go into power play. Domi was the guy who served the extra minor, and they killed the penalty. Again, they did not allow a shot on goal on the penalty kill the entire game, so shout out to the Hawks penalty killers. After the first period, they're outshot 9-5 after 20 minutes. One of the Hawks shots was a Jason Dickinson clearing attempt from his knees at the Hawks blue line that just happened to go on goal to Jonathan Quick, so it wasn't really a shot on goal. Technically it was, but he was just trying to clear the puck, and it happened to go into the crease area. So that was one of the 5 shots on goal. Second period, I have very few notes about the second because that was...
Outside of the goals.
Yeah, the goals were in. 12:54 in, the Jason Dickinson goal, his 4th of the year, by the way. Caleb Jones flips a shot. He redirects it from the right in the middle of the slot there, gets past Jonathan Quick, so he picks up his 4th. Caleb Jones, his 6th assist of the year, Philip Roos, gets his second assist of the game. The next shift, the Hawks put their fourth line out, Kara, Kachuk, and Reese Johnson. A very physical shift, sustained zone time. Really, really nice shift for that line. Of course, nothing comes of it. About 4 minutes later, 3.5 minutes later, the Kings tie the game. Blake Lizotte gets a 2-on-1 and puts it right past the outstretched leg of Arvid Soderblom. Kaliev and Walker pick up the assist on that one. Hawks go back on the power play, 16:42 into the second. Absolutely nothing happens on that one. And I have here in my notes, Roos whiffs on an easy play behind his own net. Rough night for him. He had a really, really tough game.
A couple in a row that he's been.
Yeah, I hate to keep going back to my duck on the pond metaphor, but it just is so accurate, and it's one of the best things I've ever heard.
He might be better served watching a game or two from up top. Let Regula get in there, and see what happens.
Yeah. Third period begins. Here's something I hadn't seen before in all my years as a hockey fan. There's a high sticking call on the Blackhawks.
Caleb
Jones hits Lizotte in the face. Blood is drawn. They announce they say a 4-minute penalty. We're gonna take a look at it. Which just the casual nature of the announcement delighted me. Go to the replay. They see that Caleb Jones' stick was lifted by an LA Kings player, thus causing the high stick. They completely waive off the penalty. I had never seen that before, but to me, that was cool. That's the right way to do it because it is no fault of the player that his stick was lifted into another guy's face.
Yeah. No, that's that I'm not a big fan of replay.
Yeah.
But in those cases where it's black or white, yes or no, I'm for it. Too many times it turns what used to be black or white into just a giant muddled gross mess of gray that you take 5 minutes looking at it and still you don't know what you're looking at. But stuff like that was good. And just a quick shout out to Paul T. Thanks for the awesome comment there. And thank you for tuning in, because without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this. So we appreciate you more than you appreciate us sitting here blabbing for an hour.
Yeah, we do not lose sight of how cool that this is. I feel like every day one of us is at practice or whatever and just types out air quotes work with whatever video we're putting out. I know it was Mario today. So thank you all for being there.
And thanks Brandon for the super chat. Yes, Soderblom, awesome game. Goalie win, stole 2 points tonight.
Absolutely. He was great. Congrats on the first win for him. Hawks go back on the penalty kill about 11 minutes into the third, kill it off. And then late in the period, Kevin Fiala has a wide open net to shoot at. Aside from Arvid Soderblom's glove save of the night, sends the game to overtime. And then a minute 31 in, Kevin Fiala can't handle the puck, turns it over to Jake McCabe, who very patiently takes the puck, turns to his forehand, waits a tick or two for Jonathan Toews to crash the net, puts it right on the tape, and you do that to Jonathan Toews, and he's not going to miss very often. 7-game point streak for Jonathan Toews, his 7th goal of the season. Jake McCabe with his 3rd assist, and of course 32 saves for Arvid Soderblom. So just an outstanding game from him, and because of him, the Hawks escape with 2 points. So hey, you know what? The result, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it, was good despite the 64.5-minute performance otherwise. They get the win, and that's what matters. So props to Arvid Soderblom, and congrats on his first NHL win, one that he absolutely, absolutely stole for the Blackhawks.
Absolutely.
Well, we're still waiting on Mario.
Yeah, must be some awesome stuff going on in postgame.
Yeah.
Either that or the elevator broke and he can't get back to the
Why don't we do this? Why don't we let our friends know about Shady Rays and Athletic Greens, and then we'll update the tank standings as we wait for Mario to chime in.
All right. I can do that once I get situated.
Get adjusted.
I was waiting for a full screen graphic and I jumped the gun there. Shady Rays. Do you like sunglasses? Of course you do. Do you like not paying a lot of money for sunglasses? Of course you do. Do you like watching Jay put $1 in the heel shouldn't have your name jar? Of course you do. Well, then you should check out our friends at Shady Ray, because it's not going to cost much more than what's in that fine jar to get yourself a pair of awesome sunglasses. Shady Rays never understood why sunglasses were so expensive, so they set out to change it, and that's what they've done. You do not have to break the bank for quality sunglasses this fall, because our friends at Shady Rays have you and your eyeballs covered. Shady Rays are premium polarized shades featuring world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles catered to everyone and every lifestyle. The best part about Shady Rays, they have one of the most insane protection programs in all of eyewear. If you lose or break your shades on day one, they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Did you drop them in a lake? Did you drop them off one of the many cliffs found here in the Chicagoland area? Doesn't matter what you did. Did Brendan Lemieux knock them off your face trying to dodge punches? Well, it doesn't matter. They will replace them for you. Even with that strong of a protection program, they still manage to make quality that I can tell you from being a longtime customer are just as good as any of those expensive name brands on the market. Shady Ray customers also agree. They have over 200,000 five-star reviews on their website. That's a lot. Plus, not only are you going to look awesome in your new sunglasses, but Shady Rays will do a good deed. They provide 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order placed and have donated over 20 million meals to date. They stand behind their product, and they told our team that if anyone has any kind of problem, they will throw profit right out the window and do what it takes to get it right. Free returns and exchanges. You either love the shades or Shady Rays will pay to ship them back. That's it. And exclusive for our lovely CHGO listeners, because we love you and Shady Rays loves you, they're running their deepest deal of the season. Use the promo code CHGO at checkout, and you will get 50% off 2 or more pairs at shadyrays.com. I'm no math major, but that's buy one, get one free, kids, and everybody likes that. You can get 2 pairs of awesome shades for as low as $54. Once again, shadyrays.com. That's where you can find all their newest and best shades. Go check them out. You won't regret it. I love me my Shady Rays.
All right, Mario is standing by, but first we want to tell you about Athletic Greens, and I know Mario usually handles these reads, but I want to let everybody know, too, my wife had been dealing with... My wife, nope, not going to do that one. She had been dealing with gut issues for a while, just, whatever changes were happening, and she just not feeling great, couldn't get her stomach right, and I brought home the free sample of Athletic Greens that we got. I said, hey, give it a shot. Who knows, who knows if it'll work? It has been part of her life every day since, and she's not had gut issues at all since starting to take it. And it's really been a phenomenal change for our household and for my wife, who loves it. With just one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. The special blend of ingredients supports your gut health and your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things you want to have working well in your body, AG1 will help you achieve those goals. It tastes great. You just grab a scoop, put it in some water, boom, you're done. She drinks one every single morning, and she's not stopping anytime soon. It's just really, really good. It's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free. AG1 is for you. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, all while tasting good. And it costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. Athletic Greens is a climate-neutral certified company, and in 2020, they donated over 1.2 million meals to kids. So right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Blackhawks. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/CHGO Blackhawks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. We were going to do the tank standings waiting for Mario, but Mario's here now, so we'll do the tank standings later. Mario's with us from the United Center. Make sure you're following him on Twitter at Mario_Tirabassi. Oh, and by the way, smash that like button for us while you're hanging out. What's up, Mario? What do we learn from Luke?
What's up, guys? Yeah, I mean, it was not the greatest effort from the Blackhawks tonight, not the greatest game, but you go home a winner, and you tip your cap to Jonathan Toews and Arvid Soderblom. They were the two guys that the team needed the most tonight at the right times, and that was pretty much the mood of the locker room. Spoke with both Toews and Soderblom. That's loud. Spoke with both Toews and Soderblom after the game, and Luke Richardson as well. Giving props to those two guys. Richardson did, rightfully so. And yeah, this was a game that the Blackhawks really, if you look at the advanced stats, if you look at just watching the game, they had no business winning. But this team, the theme of early on in the season of them not really being ruled out of games, not really playing themselves out of games and keeping things tight, continued. And that was an effort that they got rewarded for in a game where they probably shouldn't have come away with 2 points.
Yeah, Arvid Soderblom's first win is certainly a memorable one. We were kind of the three of us talking during the game that Arvid Soderblom is probably the team's best goalie at this point. And Greg and I were saying before you jumped on, like if you had one game you had to win, let's say it's a tank playoff for Connor Bedard, and you have to win that game over the Coyotes, Soderblom's your guy.
Yeah, I think right now what we've seen out of him is a very small sample size. But something that I'm writing for tonight's Hawks Hits, which will be out later tonight. I'm on board with Arvid Soderblom. Like he is probably the number 2 option in the long-term plans for the Blackhawks as far as goaltending goes for prospects and everything. Drew Comezzo is probably the number 1 guy. But I think what we've seen so far from Soderblom in his North American career, both at the AHL level and NHL level, is that he can be reliable early on in his career as a young goaltender. In the first year plus of playing in North America, it's a different game here than it is over in Europe. The ice size is different. The speed is different. The way shots come on to these guys, come on to the goalies is different. He's handled it very well. And stylistically, much different than what we've seen out of Alex Stalock. Soderblom is very quiet in his net, not a lot of extra movements. So that's definitely a different style to see in net, and it's good to see. It's good to see from a young guy like that. So yeah, from what we've seen so far from him at the NHL level in the last few games, I'm on board. I think he's definitely got what it takes to make things work for him in the NHL.
Yeah, that as Michael says in the chat, the Soderblom and Comezzo tandem suddenly looks pretty fun in the future here, looking down the road for the Hawks. But did Luke Richardson, take some time to really offer some praise of Soderblom? This is the first time I think in a game where we can this year and under Luke Richardson where we can say a single player is pretty much responsible for the result. So I wonder how much praise did he put on Soderblom after this one?
Yeah, he mentioned that Soderblom received the championship belt from the group after the game, very rightfully so, and he talked about just how poised and calm he is for a 23-year-old, both just as a personality trait and how he plays the game. So I think again he did say small sample size, but it is encouraging to see what Soderblom is bringing to the table as a goaltender, and this is not the ideal way that I think he or many Blackhawks fans thought that he would get to the NHL this season, given the injuries to Alex Stalock and Peter Mrazek. But I think he's making the most of it. And Luke Richardson did say that he is playing well, but once Mrazek and Stalock are both healthy, it's still likely the case that Soderblom will go back to the Rockford Ice Hogs because they want him playing more. They want him playing a lot. That's an organizational thing. So once those two are healthy again, it seems like no matter what Soderblom is doing, he'll probably go back to Rockford, and that's kind of sucks. That kind of sucks for a guy playing well as he has, but it's better than carrying 3 goalies or telling one of these veterans, "Hey, go down to Rockford," which I don't think that they would really. I don't think either of them would have signed up for when coming to Chicago. So if that's the plan, which it seems to be, that's okay. Given that that's okay with me, given that there's injuries across the board with goalies in the Blackhawks system, both at the AHL and NHL level. So he's going to get playing time no matter where he's at.
A couple things. I think you might have been getting more gummy bears that were not contaminated by Mark Bergevin when they showed Arvid Soderblom on the scoreboard say his own name, and it is Soderblom.
He said Soderblom.
He said Arvid Soderblom. So we no longer have to. We no longer have to battle with that. And you mentioned a small sample size for Soderblom, which is true. There have not been a lot of games. However, when you watch him play, there's nothing that in his game that's luck or, like, oh, that one just happened to hit him and he's, you know what I mean? Like, he is positionally sound. He knows where to be. He knows how to square up. He's just so technically sound that I don't see like a sudden big drop off after 5, 10, 15 games. He just looks real. And of course, he's not going to stop 32 of 33 shots every night. Again, I say it all the time. Hockey's like pinball. The puck's going everywhere all the time, unpredictably. But there's nothing I see from him, even in this short sample size, that tells me like, oh, well, this is all smoke and mirrors and reality is going to set in for Soderblom. Even last year, when he would get starts, he just looked, like Luke said, calm and poised and positionally sound. And I say it every game, but he just reminds me so damn much of Corey Crawford. It's just the way he's positioned, the way he controls rebounds. And when I say control, it doesn't mean he doesn't give rebounds, but he puts them in good position. Like he'll steer it into the corner or not into danger all the time. I've been really impressed with him, and there's nothing I see from him that tells me like, oh no, like the crash down to earth is coming for Soderblom. I don't think so.
There were a few points tonight where he was in a position to make a save after either a redirect or a scramble or a rebound chance or a backdoor chance, whatever it was. There were a few times tonight where he was in a position to make a save that I said to myself, I was like, if that was Stalock, that might be in the back of the net because of the way that he reacts to positioning and where the puck is and where it's going. And I think that's a big thing for him is that calmness and poise that he has as a young goaltender. I think that's really impressive and encouraging to see. And you saw it late in the third period. The save he had to keep the game tied and essentially force overtime. Like that was a huge save. That's a huge confidence booster for the Blackhawks out in front of him to know that there's someone back there that on any given night will be able to make that kind of save. So that's a huge confidence boost. And I think again for the age and experience that he has. To have shown the calmness in net that he has so far in his few NHL games, it's really encouraging.
Before we get to the 4-star of the game, was there any talk either from the players or Luke Richardson about the coming to the defense? There was the play with Jujhar Khaira getting the fight after the hit. Jake McCabe jumped in, to help defend Soderblom there in the game too. Was there any talk about that? Especially after how we talked about they didn't react to the Alex Stalock play. They were very quick to react to defend their teammates tonight. Was there any discussion about that?
Not necessarily in the reaction, whether they jumped into a scrum or not. It was more Luke Richardson kind of talking about Jujhar Khaira and his decision to get into it with Brendan Lemieux. after the hit that he laid on either it was Entwistle or Reese Johnson. I can't remember exactly who it was, but borderline questionable hit. And given Kara's history with injuries, we saw last season the concussions that he and everything he went through. Richardson kind of just talked about him reacting in that way and wanting to stick up for his teammate and just kind of talked a little bit about what he talked with Kara about this season so far, about kind of being a little bit more protective of himself in those kinds of situations, not being as wide open in his game, both physically between whistles and after them as well. So he said he said it before and he said it again tonight. He's never going to discourage a player from sticking up for a teammate, but I think there was a little bit of a it's instinctual for these guys to jump in, and they're not really thinking, oh, I've had concussion issues, I probably shouldn't stick up for my teammate. It's pretty much ingrained in hockey players that they're going to do something like that. And for a guy like Jujhar Khaira, that's a part of his role, is to be physical and to be a guy who's going to get into the middle of scrums when needed. So as far as just trying to stay healthy, that was more or less Richardson's point, but no issue with having a guy stick up for a teammate. I don't think we're going to see Luke Richardson have an issue with any of that at all. I think that's just the kinds of players that he enjoys having on the team.
All right, let's get to the fourth stars of the night. All right, the 3 stars of the game, and this one, number 3 goes to Connor Murphy. He led the Blackhawks in ice time with 15:43, a shot on goal, 3 hits, a takeaway, and a block shot. Number 2 star, Arvid Soderblom, who stopped 32 of 33 LA Kings shots, including a huge save on Kevin Fiala late in the game to preserve the tie to force the game into overtime. And the number 1 star of the game, Jonathan Toews, with a goal. Obviously extending his goal scoring streak to, or his point streak rather, to 7 games. Updating the ice time. That was 21:34 for Connor Murphy. My box score had not updated until just now. Toews with the goal, +1, 17:31 of ice time, 2 shots on goal. Weird night for him at the dot, by the way. For a guy who was second in the league behind only Max Domi.
Don't call me Ty.
Jonathan Toews won 4 and lost 13 faceoffs.
Anze was eating his lunch today.
Oh, my God. I was thinking before the game, like, this might be the one game where the Hawks don't win the faceoff.
Yeah, when you're
battle.
facing Anze Kopitar and Phil Deneau,
yes.
75% of the time, you're probably going to lose more than you win.
Yes, Philip Deneau, 10 wins, 4 losses for him. That's pretty good. Kopitar won 10 and lost 7. So, yeah, there you go. There you have it. That was just sort of the strange thing. All right, 4-star for me. I'm going to go with Jared Tenorti. Played a very, just sort of a solid game for a guy who was picked up on waivers right before, right as the season was beginning. 19:43 of ice time, a shot, another shot attempt, 6 hits, and 2 block shots. So solid defensive game for Jared Tenorti.
Yeah, if we were going to do the 4th star of the game for the Kings instead of the Blackhawks, we would have picked that damn referee that kept getting in the way of the puck all night. 3 plays. One of those happened on Tenorti, and then it led Connor Murphy taking a slap shot off the foot. But
was that the foot? Was it the knee or the weenie? As
I
Dale
don't know.
Tallon would
It
say.
sounded like it hit a boot. So
yeah.
Congratulations, Mrs. Murphy, maybe. But I'm sticking on the blue line for my 4th star. I'm going with good old number 6. Jake McCabe, another just solid effort from him. That man just goes out there. He brings his lunch pail to work every day and just does his things. He had the assist on the game-winning goal, jumped on that Fiala turnover. Just under 21 minutes. He had the most shifts of anybody on a team, 29 shifts.
By the way, praising Greg, had Jake McCabe as his 4-star before the assist.
Yes, I did. And part of that reason was he had 5 blocked shots, 2 hits, and a takeaway as well. So just that's what he does. And then, as I mentioned a little earlier, there was the play, I believe it was Mikey Anderson of the Kings, took an extra swat at Arvid Soderblom at the whistle, and he just jumped on him right away. And those are the type of things. Jake McCabe is a leader. You walk into the Blackhawks locker room after any practice, and he is just, you look at him and go, yeah, that man, if he tells me to run full speed into this brick wall, I'm going to do it.
Just try to get him in here.
I'd love to do it. Yeah, he's
Put some pressure on these Hawks to help us out.
He's a great quote too. He doesn't mince words either. He'll tell you exactly what's going on. So Jake McCabe, my 4-star. I think he's going to be this far from the last time he shows up in this segment this year.
Yeah, just a warrior.
My 4-star of the night is Jujhar Khaira. Spoke about him just a little bit ago. For jumping in and coming to the defense of his teammate. I think he's playing up to his role. It's been a little bit of a challenge for him to get into and stay in the lineup a bit. And right now he's making the most of an opportunity with Luke Richardson putting him into the lineup and putting Colin Blackwell up here in the press box. But yeah, I like the game from Khaira tonight. I liked his physicality, was kind of all over the ice, blocked a couple shots, laid a couple hits. And I will say, in the spirit of the segment, I wanted to go with Jujhar Khaira, but I do want to go with a comment here from our friend Tom. Tonight was Hockey Fights Cancer night, and it's always an emotional and inspiring night across the NHL. And tonight was Chicago's night to honor those who are battling or who have gone through battles with cancer. And it's something that touches all of us, whether directly or indirectly. We all know somebody, family member, friend, or someone who's watching or listening personally who has dealt with cancer in some way in their life. And I think it's a night to honor a lot of people who have gone through a lot of battles. And the Blackhawks had some young kids who were going through cancer treatments and whatnot that were on the ice. Some that have gone into remission, some that have completed treatments, things like that. So it's always tough to see, but it always is a bit of an inspiration to know that these kids and people of all ages have gone through things that have come out on the better side of it, and those that have not. It's a time to kind of honor their memories as well. And of course, with the Blackhawks, Troy Murray front and center with Hockey Fights Cancer Night tonight. He was out there for the ceremonial puck drop. I think it's well documented the struggles he's gone through with his battle with cancer, and great to see him, being at the rink, being on the radio broadcasts, TV broadcasts, and everything like that. So want to give an extra shout out to everyone who is battling, gone through a battle, people that have lost family members and friends. It touches everybody. So I know we're not really encouraged. We can let them fly sometimes, so we're not encouraged to swear too much. But I'm just fuck cancer. I hate it, and I just I have some family members currently going through some cancer treatments and whatnot. So tonight was a night that just personally I knew it was the night that it was going to be Hockey Fights Cancer Night here. It just put me in an interesting spot emotionally coming into the rink and seeing all the I fight for signs and everything. So I just wanted to, again, shout out to everyone that's gone through or going through something, whether personally or someone that they know.
Yeah, well said.
I was tearing up a little bit during that opening face-off. When you see these kids who are 6 years old, and it's just tough. I lost my dad to cancer 10 years ago now, and he's the biggest reason I became a Blackhawks fan. So it's an emotional night. There's nobody in that arena. There's nobody watching this show that had been touched one way or the other. So big stick tap to the Blackhawks for doing another fantastic job with their Hockey Fights Cancer Night. And hopefully those jerseys, you can bid on those jerseys they wore in pregame. Hopefully they raise a ton of money for cancer research. And maybe one day, we'll have another C word, and it's called cure. That's the goal.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up, Mario. My mom, a year ago this time, was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. She's beaten it and gotten through it. My dad battled prostate cancer about a decade ago, and he's a survivor as well. My Aunt Julie overcame one of the most aggressive cancers ever. So our family has certainly been touched, and we're very fortunate that everyone has been a survivor so far. And you mentioned Troy Murray's battle. Troy is one of, first of all, a friend. Second of all, one of the first Blackhawks I ever loved, right? Like one of my first favorite Hawks. Roenick is the guy that hooked me in, and then Troy Murray was a guy that's the dude. I like that guy a lot. His battle it's tough. It's tough. And, these tough hockey players don't talk about it a lot, but keep thinking about Troy. Of course, Eddie Olczyk, a survivor as well, but these survivors are always kind of looking over their shoulders too, because you never know when things might flare back up. And it's so great to see Troy back doing games, but his battle is not over. So whatever you believe in, wherever you send your thoughts, or wherever you send your money to fund this research, please keep Troy in your hearts during this too, because his battle is not over, and we're constantly thinking about him as well. So, and I just want to shout out just the Hawks in general too, because everything they've done this year in terms of game presentation. We had Native American Heritage Night the other night that was absolutely perfectly executed. They had the drum circle back today for Native American History Month for the intro of the game. And to have the kid during the second period ring the bell that he had beaten cancer.
His last chemo treatment.
They had the lavender bell in the crowd, and this kid's ringing the bell, and he's got all of his hockey teammates behind him cheering him on.
That was awesome.
It was outstanding, and the Hawks have done a fantastic job with all this stuff. But especially tonight, the touches were just perfect, and it wasn't heavy-handed, and it wasn't fake. It was really a beautiful thing to see. So, anyway, all right, Mario, before we let you go, let's update the tank standings. And these are going to be.
I don't know. We might be cutting this segment out here in another couple weeks. There it is.
Yeah,
our
buddy.
Spinning tank that might be going over one of them cliffs with our sunglasses.
Yeah. All right. We got the Canucks leading the tank standings, 6 points in 10 games. Columbus, the same. St. Louis, that's nice to see the St. Louis Blues being terrible.
Yeah, the Blues sucking warms my cold black heart.
It really does. 6 points in 9 games for them. Them and the Packers sucking simultaneously, just beautiful.
And the Blues were 3-0 to start the season.
Well, good for them.
They're here on November 16th. I don't think Craig Berube's with them.
There you go. Yep. San Jose, 7 points in 12 games, and the Ducks, 7 points in 10 games. There's your top 5 of the tank. The Hawks with 12 points in 11 games. They are 17th in the tank.
They are closer to first place in the Central than they are in last place overall.
That's right.
But hey, big game this weekend at the Ducks. Lose that one in regulation, and you're right back in it.
Yep. All right, Mario, drive safe, man. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you Saturday.
I have to say, it is great to see the Blues losing 6 in a row and Jordan Binnington filling his diaper tonight. It's just a good way to drive home after a 2-1 OT win.
More of that.
Who could have predicted that? The Binnington thing.
Yeah, right?
Everybody but the Blues.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, we'll see you guys.
See you, buddy. That is Mario Tirabassi. Make sure you're following him at Mario_Tirabassi on Twitter while you still have Twitter. All right, we got a lot to do and very little time to do it, so let's name our DraftKings King of the Game. You're never going to guess who it is. That's right. It is Arvid Soderblom again. Stopped 32 of 33 King shots, 1 goal against. That's a 97% save percentage for Arvid Soderblom. He is the very obvious DraftKings Sportsbook King of the Game. And hockey fans, it is time to hit the ice again. And thanks to DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you're in for the season of a lifetime. New customers can bet $5 on any NHL team and get $200 in free bets if they win. Last night, I won my first ever DraftKings Sportsbook Parlay. I had the Sabres winning, Jake Gensel to score, and Alex Tuck to score. All three went through. My $5 bet became a $50 win. Beautiful. Loved it. Thank you very much, Buffalo and Jake Gensel. Those same game parlays are a blast. That's where you can turn small bets into bigger payouts. You combine multiple bets like which team will win, how many goals will be scored, and more for your shot at a huge payout. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. As soon as I won, I'm like, boom, put that money in my bank account so I don't lose it on another game
and you
tonight.
And you threw it in the final.
I did, yes, exactly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code CHGO. Bet $5 on any NHL team to win their game and get $200 in free bets if they do. That's code CHGO at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And if that's not enough, my friends, it is time for the DraftKings Sportsbook Pick of the Week.
The Pick of the Week. And we're going to go with one of those.
I'm sorry.
We're going to go one of them fun same-game parlays for this Sunday's professional football tilt between our Chicago football players and those from Miami. Why? Because we're all going to be hanging out at the corner of Roosevelt and Michigan at our second, but far from last, CHGO tailgate party. Come join us before that big Chicago-Miami. 8 a.m. the festivities kick off. All you can eat, all you can drink, included with your ticket. We're going to have a DJ spinning tunes. We're going to have our awesome Chi-Town cornhole boxes out there. Just a great time. Really looking forward to it. We've got 2 new grills that were assembled today, and Greenridge Farms, our friends, dropped off a butt ton of meat.
Yes.
And we're going to cook it up. So go to allchgo.com. You'll see the banner right when you log in. Buy your tickets. There are 2 options. You can either get the ticket just for the tailgate party to hang out and drink with us all day, or you can also get one that comes with a parking spot too if you're going to the Bears game. So, and if you're going to the Bears game, scroll down, hit the like button, click on that game time link, and you get tickets to that game as well. So anyway, we're going to do a same-game parlay for that game. I am going with unfortunately, I'm taking the points and the Dolphins. The Dolphins is 4.5. I'm going to take those points and parlay it with Justin Fields rushing for over 54.5 yards. So taking the 4.5 and the Dolphins and Justin Fields to get at least 55 rushing yards. That's a plus 400 odds right there.
Are you taking or giving the points?
I'm sorry, giving the points.
Okay, all right.
My mistake. Sorry, that's why I'm not on CHGO bets. We are, we are giving up 4.5 points on the Dolphins, but you know what? That defense, Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm expecting a long day for the Bears defense, but Justin Fields is going to run for a bunch of yards. So there we go.
Maybe run for his life.
So that is our DraftKings pick of the week. Hey, as long as he runs for 55 yards and then gets stopped.
I love it. We also want to welcome our newest sponsor, ComEd. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is committed to helping facilities and businesses in the communities we serve save money and energy. ComEd offers free facility assessments that can help find energy-saving opportunities, whether it's lighting, HVAC systems, commercial kitchen equipment, or industrial processes. I like that word, processes. An authorized engineer will work with you to develop a detailed assessment plan specific to your goals and needs. These can be done in person or virtually and last approximately 2 hours. Within 3 to 4 weeks, customers will receive a report detailing energy efficiency projects that they can start working on immediately. Don't wait. Get started saving money and energy today. For energy-saving tips and to schedule your free facility assessment, go to ComEd.com/poweringbiz. That's ComEd.com/poweringbiz. Ready to sign up for a facility assessment? Call 1-855-433-2700 during normal business hours to speak with a ComEd Energy Efficiency Program representative. Email businessee@comed.com or request an assessment online on their website at comed.com/facility assessment. All right. I think we're good. We're off tomorrow. We're back Saturday for postgame. Sunday, we've got the CHGO Chicago football tailgate with all those great Green Ridge Farm meats. Again, come join us. Come hang out.
It's going to be 65 degrees in November. No excuse.
Let's go. We'll see you out there. Come say hello, and we'll drink some beers and some liquid dust together and toast the Bears in the 1985 revenge game, my friends. If you've not already done it, please smash that like button. If you've not already done it, go on your favorite podcast app or apps. More than one is fine. And hit that subscribe button. And if you want to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, that would help because a 4-star review is basically a 0-star review. Fun fact. So just give 5. All right? Just give 5. If you like a podcast, give them 5 stars. Show them the love that they deserve. And we love it too. So for Greg, who's right there, and Mario, who's driving somewhere, I'm Jay. Thanks to Stefan for producing the show.
Jerk move, man. Jerk
You
move.
knew I was going to do it, too. This has been the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast.